So then you've got, because we're going to split this into two now.
Okay.
Or not two, we're going to take a third out, and we're going to add a little bit of carrot and onion and celery to that.
Get you a dish.
So we've got this pan here, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take some of this mince out. So what we've got here, we've got our pan. So what we're going to do, so this has now been thingy, we're going to add a little bit of carrot. We're going to add a little bit of onion. And we're going to add some of the celery. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to put the heat back on this for a minute. And then we'll add a little bit of, a couple of our stock cubes and some water.
So that's just exactly the same as you've shown the parents how to prep the veg. That's just exactly the same.
Yep.
It's just okay.
So the mince we've done there already. I'm just going to let that loosen down a bit.
And of course, allergens are such a big thing today. So as you're making the home cooking, you can control those allergens much more because when you buy a product in, you've got to look at the ingredients. And sometimes there can be a really high amount of allergens. But when you're home cooking and doing this, you can take out exactly what you don't want in there.
Yeah. So just going to let that fry off a bit. With this pan, so in this one, there's a small amount, a little bit of oil in it, but that's nothing to worry about. That just goes to show, out of about 1.5 kilos, we've had that much, and that is a majority of fat. So there. So again, you don't want any of that in your food.
No.
You've reduced your fat content down then. You know, if you're having a 10% fat content, you've reduced that down by loads. So we take that out. So again, in this pan here, so this one basically, this is going to be a base for a cottage pie. If you had minced lamb, it would be shepherd's pie.
Okay.
Shepherd's pie, lamb.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Cottage pie. With cottage pie as well, you can just make it all in one dinner. You can throw some peas in there if you wanted to, just to give it add a bit more. Or you can have the peas on your side. It's entirely up to you. But because you've got celery, carrot, and onion in it, you've got a really good base of vegetables in there. So with this pan here, we're going to just add some more onions.
And these again, you can make these the night before, so you're a day ahead at home. Like we are in the professional kitchens.
And we've got some carrots. We're just going to throw them in, and we're going to add a bit of celery as well, give it that bit of flavour. So all I'm going to do with this now, just fry that off a bit. And what we're going to do with this one, we're going to make this into a tomato-based sauce.
Okay.
Okay. So you've got some mixed herbs that we're going to supply you with. This is going to be a year supply, I believe.
Yeah, so what they'll do is they'll get one big jar per year, and then if they keep that for all the half terms, then they'll have enough for all the meals.
Just use it, So again, it's just a general, tiny little sprinkle on top. You're looking at maybe 4 or 5 grams. That's just going to enhance the flavour a little bit. But what we're going to do now is just add some water to that. And what we're going to do is just continue just cooking that vegetables, cooking the mince out. You literally just want to cover it.
So a simmering rather than boiling,
We're going to simmer,
yeah, okay.
So this is literally only going to take 10 minutes for this to simmer. And then we'll add a little bit of gravy mix to that. And what that'll do is that'll give us a nice thick basis for a nice cottage pie. Or you can just do mince and potatoes. Or you could do, if you've got short crust pastry or puff pastry, you can make a nice little pie out of that. Even suet pastry, to be fair, you can make a roly-poly.
Is that just below the boil? That's what simmer is. So it's not like bubbling. It's just starting to get okay.
A fine bubble just running around. So what I'm going to do, just while that's simmering, I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to stick that one to the back, and we're going to concentrate on this one at the front.
Oh, he's up to 4 pans, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. So this one at the front. This one we're going to turn into a tomato-based sauce. I'm going to add a little drizzle of that. This is basically garlic. Mediterranean dishes and what have you, just gives loads and loads of flavour. And then we've got some tomato puree, some tomato paste. You're going to get a tin of this in your. So we're just going to add a good hefty bit of tomato paste in there.
So if you open your tin and you didn't use it, or you can quite happily just put that in the bowl and it's got a few days life.
You can either put it into a clean container, one of your, a bowl, or like you say, just cling film it. Or another little tip, if you've got one, if you've got either ice cube molds, or if you've got you can make like little quenelles on a bit of greaseproof paper. You stick that in your freezer overnight, and then they can just go into a little box or a tin.
Perfect.
Tomato puree freezes fantastic. And if you need to, you just go out and get a block, stick it in, and that way you can save it for 6 months.
That's a fantastic idea.
So what we're doing there is just going to break that down. We're going to add a little bit of mixed herb just to this. That gives our little bit of an Italian element to it. We're going to throw some fresh veg in there, tomatoes in there, just to give it a bit of chunkiness. Gives it a bit of flavour. Just break that down. And then we've got our tin tomatoes as well. Just going to add them. Oh, stock cubes, a couple of stock cubes, chef, please. With your tin tomatoes, before you throw it into the, you've got a bit of goodness in there, just a little bit of water, and you can just give it a swirl round and add that to your pan.
And it's also ready for your recycling bin as well.
Ready for your recycling bin, so you don't waste nothing. You know, you don't want scraps or anything like that. So the kidney beans are in their own water, and there's no harm in using that water because this water's got flavour. So you can just add that as your stock. So, but we won't add them yet because this is going to be the bolognese. Just to give you an example of how easy it is to turn a bolognese into a pasta, into a bolognese into a chili con carne. So all we've done there, we're just going to let that cook out. This will take about 20 minutes. Let the veg break down. There's nothing to blitz in here or anything like that. All we're going to do at the end is obviously just season it. A little tip for your bolognese or your chilies as well. With the bolognese, when you're seasoning, just a teaspoon of sugar, because tomatoes are very bitter and the tomato puree can be very bitter. So the sugar just helps. It's a bit more palatable. Yeah, helps break it down. And then obviously with your chili con carne, one of the most a lot of people don't use in chili con carnes, I do here, and I have done in the kitchen. A little bit of cocoa powder, or if you've got some chocolate, dark chocolate, just break a couple of bits of that into it and let that just cook through.
That bit of natural sweetness.
What it does, it gives sweetness and it gives a really nice dark colour to your chili con carne. So we're going to just let that.
It just looks so. It just looks so appetising like that, doesn't it? It just looks.
So that now 20 minutes. Let that cook out. The colour will change a bit because the tomatoes will just start releasing out their goodness. Okay. And it will get a nice tomatoey coloured base. So we've got that on for that. With soup, that will be about another 10 minutes. We'll break that down into another small pot then. So we've got another pan here, just to give you an idea.
Is this the 5 pans now, chef?
Not on the stove yet, but we're not far off. So all I'm going to do is just to give you an example. We're going to take some of this bolognese over here. And all I'm going to do, we'll put that one here at the back, because that one can just carry on cooking here. This one will stick on back on the stove. So this is basically a tomato-based casserole now.
Yes.
So let's say for a chili con carne, all you need to do is add some kidney beans.
So this could be you've had the other dish on a Monday night. You've got some left over.
You've got some left over. You can reheat. Just add some kidney beans. A lot of people don't like kidney beans. Kids don't like kidney beans, so you can substitute it for baked beans. No one's going to attack you for that.
Okay.
So with the chilies, you are going to have some fresh chilies. Obviously, you can use some dry chilies. So we've already prepped some of these up. Again, these are going to be nice and really loads of flavour in there and hot. So it all depends on how you like your chili con carne. You can have as much as you like. Your choice. You add what you like to it. So we've got some fresh there, and we've also got, you know, if you've got a Cajun mix at home, by all means add that to it. Some powdered coriander or cumin, you can add that just to give it a bit more flavour. Coriander, fresh coriander chopped, you can add that to it. So basically all I've done here is just add a little bit of gravy powder. This is just a ready-made one. One we use at the schools is gluten-free, and it's also suitable for vegetarians and vegans. And as you can see there, all that's done is soaking up all the liquid now, and that's going to make a lovely casserole basically that you can use for cottage pie, mince and potatoes, So I've drained off the water for the mashed potato. So all I'm going to do, a little bit of stalk in there. So you're going to have a tub of this stalk.
Yeah, they're getting a tub of stalk in their hampers.
Yep. You can add a little bit of water, milk into that as well, just to give it a bit of creaminess. And then we've obviously got your salt and pepper. You've got salt and pepper?
Full half, yes.
So, thank you. Just the tiniest bit of salt, just to give it a little bit of flavour. You would have salted your water as well for your potatoes. So I don't have a potato masher, but I'm going to use a whisk, and that's only because I know how to do it. Add that to that. Got a small little. We've got a nice little small bowl here. We can, just to give you an example, that on there, and then your mashed potato. You could layer that on top, and if you wish, you know, you want to be delicate.
We like the word rustic. Rustic's quite nice.
Little sprinkle of cheese or that in the oven for 10 minutes just to brown the cheese. There's your nice little cottage pie.
Again, you can make these the night before if you've
make
working.
them the night before, and then just next day come in from work, boom, straight in the oven. Again, give it for about 20 minutes then to cook at about 180 degrees. That's that. Again, mashed potato. You know, if you've got that left over, you can make potato scones. Just add a bit of flour to that and some butter.
Oh, amazing!
And you just make it into a little pastry, and then you can just fry them in a little bit of butter. Have that with your breakfast, or just as a nice little snack at night time.
So even though we've showed them 10, 15 dishes today, there's probably double that and more. There's lots more.
Again, you could use this to do. You can add it to your soups. Just to bulk them out. You know, once you've made them, you can add a bit more potato if you wish. What else can we do with potatoes? Lots of stuff. You can make fish cakes. There you go. You got a bit of, you've got a bit of cod in your freezer that you're not using up. Take it out. Just boil that in a little bit of milk. Take it out. Add it to your mashed potato. Bit of onion, and then just let that chill out in the fridge to form. And then just, you can make your breadcrumb mix. Do that and then whack them in the oven, and you've got a nice breadcrumb. Got a nice fish cake then. Potato goes a long way.